people of the internet. This is my channel, Solitary and Unsustained. I'm Sarah, and I like to talk about books. Today, what we will be doing is, or what I will be doing and you will be watching, is I will be going to a bunch of DC bookstores, little independent DC bookstores. We have 3 that I will be going to. Yeah, and we're gonna have a good time, and hopefully at the end I'll have some books that I can tell you about that I bought. Come along. Okay, so I'm back after a little adventure in DC, and I got the goods. I got the goods indeed. This is just a mini book haul because I didn't really get that many books. Here they are. From the first bookstore that I went to at Capitol Hill Bookstore in Eastern Market, DC. I got 2 books. There were so many books there. Like, it was packed to the brim. And things were still really organized, but like, I was overwhelmed because they had a lot of good stuff and their prices were really nice. So I got 2 books. The first one is American Gods by Neil Gaiman. I don't know much about this one, but I've heard a lot of people talk about it. I think it's probably one of his most famous works. On the back, it says, Shadow is a man with a past, but now he wants nothing more than to live a quiet life with his wife and stay out of trouble, until he learns that she's been killed in a terrible accident. Flying home for the funeral as a violent storm rocks a plane, a strange man in the seat next to him introduces himself. The man calls himself Mr. Wednesday, and he knows more about Shadow than is possible. He warns Shadow that a far bigger storm is coming, and from that moment on, nothing will ever be the same. And that is about as much as I know about this book. But it looks interesting. It's like almost 600 pages. We'll give it a shot. Why not? Oh, not to mention, I saw this book in other bookstores for like newer editions, and they were like, you know, $16 or whatever. This was $4.50. Very nice. Next, we have Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie. Classic. I love Peter Pan. If you've ever seen the live action Peter Pan from like 2000 or something, Jeremy Sumpter, you were my childhood crush. Anyway, Peter Pan. This was $6, so this was actually even more expensive. I guess because it's a classic, but yeah, we all know what Peter Pan's about. I love this story. It's the best. Anyway, and it's short, so. Our next bookstore was East City Books, and it was just like a couple blocks from Capitol Hill Books. It was such a nice store. Not to mention the staff were so friendly. Like, It was just really pretty. I didn't get a lot of footage in there because I was kind of nervous. It was crowded and there were just so many staff, and once I was like, why are you filming? But it was such a cute store. At this bookstore, I got Circe by Madeline Miller, and I read The Song of Achilles, which was impeccable. The ending got me. I was, just that ending alone, I was like, oh. But anyway, Circe, I've heard a lot about it, but I don't really know what it's about, besides the fact that it's like a Greek mythology retelling. It says, in the house of Helios, god of the sun and mightiest of the Titans, a daughter is born. But Circe is a strange child, not powerful like her father, nor viciously alluring like her mother. Turning to the world of mortals for companionship, she discovers that she does possess power, the power of witchcraft, which can transform rivals into monsters and menace the gods themselves. Threatened, Zeus banishes Circe to a deserted island, where she hones her occult craft and crosses paths with many of the most famous figures in all of mythology, including the Minotaur, Daedalus, and his doomed son Icarus, the murderous Medea, and of course, wily Odysseus. But there is danger too, for a woman who stands alone, and Circe unwittingly draws the wrath of both men and gods, ultimately finding herself pitted against one of the most terrifying and vengeful of the Olympians. To protect what she holds dear, Circe must summon her strength and choose once and for all whether she belongs with the gods she is born from or the mortal she has come to love. Titillating. Anyway, it looks like it'll be good. And then from our final bookshop, Politics and Prose in Union Market, which is a kind of Washington, D.C. based independent chain. I don't know if they have locations outside of D.C., but it at least started in D.C. And like I said, the one I went to was Union Market. Very cute. Staff seemed a little more preoccupied, I guess since this is a slightly bigger bookstore than the other ones I went to. They had a lot of online orders and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And it wasn't a super big store, but it was, once again, very cute. They had a lot of fiction. There was a huge wall of fiction. So what I ended up getting here was The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. I don't know like anything about this book. I've heard people talk about it. I'm trying to get more into fantasy, kind of fantasy action types of fiction, because I tend to read more just like your standard contemporary literature, whatever. And this sounds interesting. Let's read the back. It says, peasant, student, soldier, goddess. When war orphan Rin aced the Keiju, the empire-wide test to find the most talented youth to learn with the academics, she surprised everyone. Test officials, the guardians who wanted to marry her off and further their criminal enterprise, and even herself. But being a dark-skinned peasant girl from the south is not easy at Sinagard, the most elite military school in Nikan. Targeted by rival classmates for her color, poverty, and gender, Rin discovers that gods long thought dead are very much alive, and that she possesses a lethal, unearthly power and aptitude for the nearly mythical art of shamanism that could be the weapon the Empire desperately needs. While Nikara is at peace, its enemies and former occupiers, the Federation of Mugen, bides its time, and a third Poppy War is just a spark away. Rin's shamanic powers may be the only way to save her people. Yet as she discovers more about the god that has chosen her, the vengeful Phoenix, she fears that winning the war may cost her humanity, and it may already be too late. Funnily enough, these books sound very similar. Female powerhouses that like magic? I guess I'm here for it. But anyway, yeah. So those are the books that I got today. I'm looking forward to reading these at some point, but we will see how fast I get to them. Because currently I am reading physically Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. On audiobook, I'm listening to The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell. And then on ebook from Libby that I'm borrowing, I'm reading Severance by Ling Ma, which I'm liking, all of those. So we'll see how fast I get to these. I try to get to my newest purchases as soon as possible, but usually 3 books is my limit. Hence why I did 3 bookstores and was like, okay, I'll probably get 1 book at each one. That way I set a realistic goal of actually getting to those books. But we'll see. We'll see how fast it goes. We'll see. But yeah, so that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed coming along on this journey with me around some DC bookstores. If you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe. Please comment though, because the comments are really kind of what I'm doing this for. I really want an active conversation about books and not just me talking to you. So yeah, thank you so much for watching and see you next time.